For an update on sports stories across the globe, Aaron Akirajala joins us. Good morning,
Yeah, good morning to you, Tindun. Good morning to you, Rufai. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
Happy Friday, I must actually say. And let's get it started. Kept me all up all night talking about that particular game, Boston Celtics against the Golden State Warriors. And ultimately, the Warriors prevailed. And congratulations to Steph Curry and the gang for pulling it through once again. One thing is certain. We all know that if these guys are fit and if these guys are swashbuckling, they are literally unstoppable. And they've actually proven it once again. Those trio of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and not forgetting Klay Thompson actually doing what they've done. Now, this is the fourth time this trio have actually done in 103 to 90. It was literally a procession for them. And the dressing room was crazy with champagne showers everywhere as they celebrated this particular championship. They hadn't been together for a while. Steph Curry has been on and off. Klay Thompson hasn't really been at his best. But when these guys are at their best, three-pointers are just everyday's business. People struggle to have three-pointers, but with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, easy breezy as usual, and they can actually celebrate that. For Steph Curry, I must actually say congratulations to him, because this is quite instructive, understanding that once again he's picked up that MVP award, and these three literally celebrate because they are a tour de force, I must actually say. But Steph Curry is the man of the moment right now, and this season certainly he will look back and celebrate. He was there with his father, with his mother, with his brothers, to also celebrate this massive championship and also the MVP award that has been given to him. Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. They are unstoppable. Now, Tundu, let's turn to this. And British gymnastics is being fraught by controversies, counter-controversies at the moment, as major talks have been about emotional, physical abuse that athletes and gymnasts have had to endure over the years. An inquiry has been put in place, and that inquiry has brought out so much when we hear talks about gymnasts being starved, being insulted, being told to train with broken arms and legs and injuries, and the welfare of the athletes was not front and center. And you look at this and you say to yourself, I'm happy this is coming out, because we know that when you watch that particular documentary, The Weight of Gold, you know how much some of these coaches and the federations push these athletes. And no one seems to talk about the recurring effect afterwards. And this is good, because other countries like Nigeria, whereby we see all this kind of verbal abuse, it's the norm of the day, and no one seems to bat an eyelash. We're beginning to see these things being called out, because one of the ladies spoke and said that several people said on social media that it's part of life, just suck it up and move on with it. But they are saying this is not right, and they've put their foot on the ground, and things will change. And they say if changes are not being rung in, funding will be cut from British gymnastics, which is very, very instructive. And I'm happy that this is actually happening. But before I come to you on that, athletics, let's talk about athletics here in Nigeria. Commonwealth Games is actually building up, and favor Ofili, Nathaniel, and several other people are going to Benin for the qualifiers and the trials ahead of the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Quickly, mark the ball this weekend. Will the Elite 8 will be actually heating up, and a lot is expected from Mark the Ball event. This is majorly the biggest tournament for the local basketballers. We know international basketball is suspended, and that is why events like this are very, very important. The EPL fixtures for the 2022-2023 season has been released. Crystal Palace against Arsenal, Fulham against Liverpool, Manchester United have a date with destiny against Brighton with their new coach, Everton against Chelsea. Then the holders match, West Ham United. The holders Manchester City will be taking on West Ham United at the London Stadium. And finally, the venues and the cities that will be hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup has been announced by Gianni Infantino, and it is the first time three countries will be hosting one World Cup: the United States, Canada, and not forgetting Mexico. And the only sad part of the entire announcement is the fact that Rufai, 1994 hosted one of the most memorable World Cups. That was the first time Nigeria was attending the World Cup, and all the venues that were used in 1994, not even a single one was picked for this particular World Cup in 2026. Wow. But let's see how things actually happen, and let's see how they can work out the dynamics between Mexico, the United States and Canada. We know they all share borders. We know they have unilateral trades between them, but footballing wise and logistics, let's see how that one goes.
I want to talk about the gymnasts.
Yes, please do.
There were all kinds of pointing fingers at Russia, China, talking about how appallingly their gymnasts and generally their athletes are treated by the West. But you can now see the hypocrisy being exposed here.
True.
With the British gymnasts, what has been revealed, as depressing as it is, I always try to be hopeful. Every so often, the human race will just take a quantum leap forward in terms of rights, in terms of decency, such that what used to be accepted as the norm will suddenly become completely abhorrent, unacceptable. Yes. We saw what happened in America with the gymnasts in America and how they were sexually abused.
And I'm sure
now they're suing for $1 billion.
Yes.
And they deserve every penny.
Now, the success, I'm sure the success of that
has propelled the British ones, yes, because their lives have been so negatively impacted by what they went through. And it's about time that women find their voices and speak up in the face of this kind of abuse. What you're reading that happens to young girls, how they're treated so disgustingly. Heads have to roll, and somebody has to pay for that. I completely support that initiative.
So, okay,
go ahead.
No, over to you.
I was going to say congratulations to the Golden State.
Without a doubt.
In 2 years, they've moved from this side to that side to become champions. But, much of that is due, the analysts say, to Stephen Curry's accuracy from beyond the arc. And he's been phenomenal. Prolific. Champions and, back-to-back MVP, in 2 seasons, in the same class as Michael Jordan. In the same class as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in the same class with the greats. So congratulations to him and also to the Golden State Warriors. The second issue I wanted to raise has to do with the NFF, Nigeria Football Federation.
Yeah.
When FIFA ordered the NFF to pay Genotro over $377,000
approximately.
There was a clause there that if after 45 days, the NFF does not, pay, then of course there will be penalties that the Development Fund for Nigeria, part of it, will be withheld. Now, in the story that I read, a journalist was asking Ademola Olajire, the Director of Communications of the NFF. He said he doesn't want to discuss Genotro. And meanwhile, Nigeria has not gone on appeal. Do you have any insider information in that regard? Finally, Tyson Fury has been talking. He says he wants to coach Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
That his coach, Garcia, will not be able to train him to go the whole hog. And then at the same time, he says if he can be paid £500 million, if he loses to Alexander Usyk, he will be able to fight him. So Tyson Fury, why is he engaging in all these U-turns? Today he say he will do entertainment boxing.
Tyson Fury.
Tomorrow he wants to
remember
be
now.
Is he bored?
Now, doctor, what the elders, the saying that what the elders see sitting down, and a young boy, no matter how tall he is, will never see it. And the father said, Tyson Fury knows nothing other than boxing. That the talk about retiring is just delusion from Tyson Fury. He cannot do anything other than boxing. Tyson Fury has decided that he wants to prove his father wrong. But he cannot prove his father wrong.
He can't stay away from boxing.
Because his entire life has evolved around boxing. He says he wants to focus on his family. When he starts doing domestic duties at home, I'm sure he'll get bored. And already we've not even gotten we've not gotten close to 6 months, and he's already talking about coming back into the ring. He'll be back.
Like
if
Brady,
I know him, he will be back.
Just like Brady, they can't stay away.
He will be back. Look at Floyd Mayweather. He's having a fight somewhere in Japan, an exhibition fight. These guys, that's the downside of sports like this, especially when you pick too early. What do you do with the rest of your life?
Rufa, you have any information about NFF ignoring FIFA?
No, okay, concerning that, the NFF has decided to be mum concerning that for now, with the focus on trying to rebuild the Super Eagles and actually refocus the Super Eagles now that they have a new coach, and seeing how they can get the very best out of this whole wind in their sail as we speak right now. But let's see how it actually goes.
Okay, thank you very much.
That was a pleasure.
Aaron.